You already set the tone?
I'm ready.
Oh, once I say hello, good people.
Yes. Once it actually starts is when
Let's
I
check
start.
again.
Hello. Oh, my fault. Go ahead and check. Hello, good people, and welcome to Reasons to Talk. Presented by
Reasons to Win.
and Central Triad Church, where we transform lives
Produce believers.
and impact the world. We nailed that one.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
This is my lovely wife,
Hello.
Pastor Candace Beeman, and I am PC, Pastor Chester, Check Lee, whatever you want to call me. Doesn't even matter. But I do want to bring to your attention, to my left, two wonderful people that I know now. And I'm so glad they are at this church now. And I love it. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, Pastor Chester. I am Patty Marlowe.
I am Thomas Marlowe.
The Marlows are in the building. Yes. I know y'all wondering, like, hey, why are they here? I'm going to tell you because it's very important. This is going to be a good segment, I think, because I took her class. Also,
She did.
she's with the Safe Child Ministries and also Darkness to Light. You would like to elaborate on that?
Yes, thank you, Pastor Chester and Pastor Candace. So Save Child Ministries was born around 2013. It all started when my teenage daughter disclosed her sexual abuse, which was back in 2005. So, it took me a long time to figure out, what I was going to do with that. There was a long road of healing for both her and for me and for our family. But I finally connected with Darkness to Light, who is out of Charleston, South Carolina. And what their organization does is they train people to protect children from sexual abuse. And we connected with a family down at the beach just by chance. I say by chance, God, He works all that stuff out.
All right.
So we connected with a family who had a little girl that had been physically abused, and she was in almost a vegetative state.
Oh.
We actually camped right beside of them. We were campers, so we had our camper, they had theirs, and so we met her, a little precious little girl, and she passed away a year later after we had met her, and I had stayed in contact with them. So that's what really God prompted me at that moment to say, there's not enough being done. I mean, how can a child that precious at 3 years old be that badly abused and that there's nothing that came of that? So that's where the ministry came from, and SAFE stands for Stop Abuse for Every Child.
I like that.
Safe Child Ministries.
I like that. And we took a class for Central Kids,
Right.
and it was tough,
Yes.
but it needed because we have 4 kids going on 5,
yes.
Congratulations.
and it opened our eyes
It
a lot
did.
because I thought I did good by asking questions. We asked
Yeah.
questions. We tell them, "Hey,
Right.
did this happen to you? Did this happen to you?" But some of the stuff that was brought in the video and stuff that you said that you experienced, it just opened my eyes to more educating the kids. And they need to happen.
Right.
Like not just for us.
Right.
Right.
We need to be educated ourselves, but the kids need to be educated.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And one thing I do want you to talk about is how she came to you. The Bible verse she used
Yes.
before. It just still give me chill bumps
Yes.
right now. And I want you to tell the viewers about how they.
Well, thank you. It was a Sunday right before Christmas, actually 1 week before Christmas. And we had just come out of church and we were at a restaurant, and she just came up to me. She was 16 and she had just gotten this Bible for her birthday. And they were in Colossians. And I cannot remember the exact verse, but really it was more about the lesson. And her her teenage Bible. It was for teenage girls specifically. And at the head of every book of the Bible, there's a story. And so there was a story about a girl that had been abused for years by her uncle for years. And she went to her mom, and I think the mom didn't believe her. I think that's what it was. And so my daughter instantly started to fear. All these years I've been keeping this secret. What if my mom doesn't believe me? And so when she finally got the courage to tell me, you know, it's kind of one of those things, it's now or never. And I've learned this over the years of facilitating this training, that when children are ready to disclose, it is now or never. Because once they muster up that courage, they can lose it, and then they'll back out and they won't disclose. And so she had revealed to me later that she wanted to disclose many times, and she got scared and backed out.
I had a friend that they kind of test the waters, and if the parents react a certain kind of way,
Right,
they wouldn't talk about it.
right. And that's true too. Yeah.
So how do you react?
Well, probably not according to the training I facilitated.
I was mad.
He was
we went
mad.
out to eat buffet food.
He didn't
And
know
all
what
the
was
girls
happening.
Or were they either outside or they were in the girls' bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm paying the same,
He said, "What's going
buffet.
on? The food's getting
Nobody's
cold."
eating. But just
Well,
a
he
couple
didn't know
of us.
what was going on, and
Oh yeah, tell the viewers the time frame. So
it was
not the whole time frame, but it already happened, and she was
Oh,
disclosing
right.
it after.
right.
After we
it
had
had already
married.
happened, and she had kept the secret for. At this point, I think she had kept the secret for about 5 years after I was divorced, and so total she kept the secret for 10 years. And so she had made the decision that day at that restaurant, right after church. God had been dealing with her after reading the verse in Colossians in the story.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, there was nothing stopping it. We went outside, it was freezing cold. She told me that, and it was the shock of my life.
How do you react?
Like I said, I was very upset that nobody was eating and I'm paying
Well,
for
after
everybody
you
to have
found out.
buffet. After that, I was just like, holy cow, this is going to be a journey. This is going to be really something we're not prepared for. But you gave me an out, and I was like, no, I'm with you.
I did. I told him, I said,
you.
we have only been married for 18 months. And I don't blame you if you just want to turn around and walk out.
Oh,
And I said, I wouldn't blame you. I can, this is my baggage that I didn't know I had. And he said, no, I'm not walking out. So, it was very hard. We lived under the Victim Witness Protection Program, which you don't really know what that is, and you don't know how important that is until you have to live it. And
wow.
yeah, so they protected us. There were
So he made like
death
threats.
threats. Hmm.
Wow.
His family, they were wealthy, and he was when he finally was arrested. It took 6 months to get him arrested.
That's probably a
It was
tough
hard.
time for her.
It was.
And he knew where we lived.
Actually, it was about 4 months. I was wrong about that. But anyway, yeah. I mean, he was under a $500,000 bond, and he was out in 3 days.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
So,
That is that's tough.
yes, it is.
So some of the healing process. What's the rough times in y'all marriage during that time? Were there any like rough patch, like, oh, what we're gonna do, or y'all just stayed right there beside each other the whole time?
Well, it's always a journey. And oh gosh, you've got something you really want to say,
No,
don't you?
I-
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it was.
I never
hard.
thought of it that way. Yeah, but we knew we were going to make it through it.
I don't know if we knew we were going to make it through it, but we did.
Well, I knew I
We
was gonna
hung
do
on to each
what I
other,
could.
and it was hard. It was hard. We, the thing is, we never really got any counseling until much later after that as a couple.
Gotcha.
Just because we were wrangling, 3 kids, and my daughter needed immediate intensive therapy.
Right.
And then I was dealing with, this happened in 3 different counties. And so I had to deal with each county,
Oh,
each
wow.
district attorney.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. And forensic interviews, all of that kind of stuff, and the
And she had to
exams.
continue to relive it.
Right, right. And then just being the squeaky wheel for me was my mission, that I was going to make sure that, we didn't drag this thing out for, it still took 2.5 years, but we were able to bring it all under one venue, meaning that it all went to one county, and she didn't have to testify 3 different times.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
So that was
That's
good.
good. That's good. And so can you tell us some of the signs that people could use?
Right. Well, first of all, I would encourage everyone to get the training. If the training is available, you can check it out. The signs are not always recognizable, and they're not what you think they would be. Some of the most common signs that I think people ignore are things like, wetting the bed. A child who has been potty trained for any length of time, 6 months, been doing great at night, and then all of a sudden they wet the bed. And, just self-harm, if a child decides to try to start biting themselves. These are like the uncommons. But, when you hear people say, oh, every child wets the bed, and that's true, but it still deserves being looked at.
Right.
And it deserves, I think the biggest thing that people miss is that important conversation. And I think we were talking about that before we started recording, is that's important, and a lot of people take that away from the training. It's important to have that constant dialogue. Make sure your child knows the proper words for body parts. Don't call it some cutesy little name. A penis is a penis, and a
Right.
vagina is a vagina. And if you refer to it in any other language, then if a child tries to disclose to someone and they call it their whatever, the tootie or whatever they want to call it, then a person would not know what that is,
Right.
possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, and if they say, and in the earlier we can bring it into the child to discuss, this is your elbow, this is your chin, this is your vagina, this is your knee, this is your ankle, then it has no negative connotation to it. And a child is able to refer to it in a positive light.
And what age would you recommend to start this process of learning the body parts and the proper names? And
As soon as they can talk. And we did it always with my son, who is 10. We started it when he was in the bathtub. It's like our little bathtub game, and bubble bath, and you just mark the spots. What is this? And I would make him tell me what those places were. So he was, learning something, and then it was a game. It was fun, and so yeah.
And I know after we took that class, we had a family meeting. We used to have family meetings at least like once a week. I used to do it every day, but and we got more in depth in talking about it.
yes.
And one thing I did notice is that the kids will come one by one sometimes during the week. It's gonna say and ask a question. And I'm like, okay, they are trusting me, with this question to answer it instead of looking for the world to answer this question. If that makes any sense. So I really thank God for taking that class and keeping my eyes open, especially me and Candace being the youth pastors here and keeping us on our toes.
Yeah.
Because like you said, sometimes we don't have that one chance to save that child.
Right.
And
the children need to be empowered. That's equally as important as the adults getting the education. When we get the education, we can empower them to understand and know that they have a voice. And if something makes them feel awkward or uncomfortable, that they can come to mommy and daddy. And if mommy and daddy's not available, they can come to another adult that they trust. But they need to know that that they have a voice, and that we empower them by these dialogues, these conversations. So you guys
it's
are
like
doing a great job.
Candace, I didn't notice with Izzy, she's 3 years old, and I said, "Could give me huggies?" And she said, "No." I said, "Come on, give me," stuff like that. And then she was like, "Hey," she said, "No, it's okay," And I thought about it, like, daggone, you right, because if if I do that, somebody else could do that.
That's
Right.
right.
You know, and then we teach the kids, hey, she didn't want to feel like getting you a hug that time. Don't. She said no,
Right.
and it's okay. So
Teaching her to respect
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
That she has a choice.
If she has a choice whether she wants to give a hug or not.
I
Even if
didn't,
it is daddy.
and I didn't realize. I was like, "Damn, you are absolutely right." And then I immediately felt bad and then she was like, "Oh, you feel bad for her? You know, you just hug her." I was like, "Yeah, you're right." You know,
Yes.
but so will you say this really strengthening your marriage?
I
During the-
do. I think that, or just from me speaking, you may say something different, but I think we've definitely made a journey that most people don't.
Yeah, cause we love seeing y'all together.
Yes.
It's y'all so cute
We
together.
are so cute together.
And-
Sometimes we have to laugh to keep from crying.
I use makeup to cover my bruises when I say something or do something wrong. Yeah, it's okay. She puts me in my place a lot, but you know, it's sort of we will have fun and we will laugh a lot. And it's like a roller coaster, and I don't like roller coasters, but this life journey it's been fun. It's definitely been interesting. When you have 4 kids, the age difference that we have, and bless his heart, Elijah, starting all over again, him being 10, our oldest being 31. It's definitely something. It's not a 3-ring circus anymore.
Right.
Because those 3 aren't
Right.
at the house anymore. But, you know, they're all different and all special in their own different ways. And you guys will figure that out. How they can,
yes.
some of them you can just say something and they're like crying like crazy. And the other ones you got to take out
Yeah.
to the woodshed.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they're all different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we know.
Yeah.
It's already
Yeah.
already know.
Oh, it'll get better.
Yeah. And
Guarantee it.
then little girls, they are something
They're
else.
Yeah.
sassy.
That's their job.
With Zion, she 14 going on 36. So,
Yep.
you know.
And as a man coming home from work, you just want to everybody meet me at the door and have the little hugs, and they all go back to doing your own little thing. It's not going to happen. I have a dog and a cat that greet me in. it's really neat.
What I do now is, like, I hear people saying that, so I always try to cherish every moment with Cameron and Eli. They still love when I come home. And Izzy, Zion sometimes. Sometimes I got to wait and see her later because she's always in her room or
Yeah.
something like that. But because I be looking at the old pictures of me and Zion, because her mom worked a lot. So
Yep.
it was me and Zion. Where that was my girl. And then now it's like, hey.
Oh, you're home.
Remember
Good
me?
to see you.
But yes, this the class is awesome. I really think anybody that's watching this that you should take a look at this class. It's Safe Child Ministries and Darkness to Light. Where can we find that? What website?
Well, my website is currently under construction, but you can go to Darkness to Light. So it's d2l.org. And if you put my name in the search, I'm going to come up as a facilitator, and it will talk about classes that I have in the area and my contact information. But eventually, I'm hoping by the 1st of May, mid-May, safechildministries.org is my website. But if you go to that now, you'll just see it says under construction. Trying to make some changes, and I want to make it to where people can request a class, go on there and see ongoing classes, and then sign up for it.
That's great. I think everyone should take your class, but especially if you're working with children, the youth. I know for me, like, I took not only what I learned from, working in CK or Central Kids, but, I teach high school, and I told my sister about it who teaches elementary school. And I'm like,
Right.
everyone needs to take this, especially if you work in the field of education or you're a youth counselor or whatever.
I agree.
So,
And
yeah.
just to throw out, I always have grandparents or people that say, "Well, I don't have kids," or my kids are grown," and so I even say grandparents,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
anyone in the community, because you never know, you may be that trusted adult.
That's right. That is so true.
Do they have classes for students? Like,
Well, they do not. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's something that I am moving forward to further empower the children. There is a nonprofit called Monique Burr Foundation, and I am currently training as a facilitator to bring that to the children. Another good reason that I'm involved with CK because that's something that we can offer the children, and it goes from pre-K all the way up to high school.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and it addresses all abuses, bullying, cyberbullying.
I think it's good because
Yeah.
you can get
Yes.
them in a position they feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
It's
It's all about body safety. And it's not only just kids can be abused just online,
Yeah.
not even physically.
All the
Yes.
social media sites happening.
That's right.
So,
especially the little
yeah.
messages and stuff like that.
Yes.
Hey guys, watch out for Discord. If your kid on Discord, check their messages. I'm saying that one more time. If your child is on Discord or any, I don't care if it's Roblox. Look at their messages. There's some people out there that say certain things. They can send pictures on Discord. They can do all these different things. And just in case you think you're taking your kids off social media, Discord is far more worse. I just want y'all to make sure you check that. That's from the bottom of my heart. Well, anyway, sorry.
So,
thank
you
you
have
for
a
that.
training coming up, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. And that's going to be,
It's going to be here at Central Triad Church, and it is on Saturday, June the 26th from 2 to 5 p.m.
so yeah, check that
You
out.
are invited.
Yeah.
You are invited. Everyone is
Yes.
invited. And what I'll do is I'll send you the link to that, and we can just get it out there.
Yeah.
Get the information out there.
And when is child abuse?
Oh, April is
Okay.
National Child Abuse Prevention
I
Month.
said it totally wrong.
It's okay. No, you did it right. It's April from the beginning to the end, and the last Sunday of April, which is something I forgot to mention earlier, it's called Blue Sunday, and that is where we just recognize victims, child victims, fatalities, just praying for them, just an extra prayer for that child as a whole, in our world.
Prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer. So you have kids. We're about to close out, but you have kids. I want you to pray in a way for information, for wisdom. The one thing that God will never rebuke you for is asking for wisdom. So therefore, there are prayers that you have that He rebuke you for. So some people don't look at that at it's in James, I believe. Look at it as in that way. But if He say, "I'll never rebuke you for wisdom," for asking for wisdom, I mean, you can ask for wisdom how to handle my kid, wisdom in my sickness. Because some people want to say, "Oh, heal me," but you want to keep your mind. Because getting healed and not having your mind, what is that? Nothing. So always ask for wisdom in everything you do, because it will give you peace. It will give you understanding. It will help you handle the things that you're going through. Because you ask for wisdom, you humble yourself. When you ask for wisdom, you humble yourself. And that's what God wants. That's how He responds. Just want to let you know that. All right? But thank y'all for coming.
Thank you for having
Enjoyed
us.
it.
Yes.
The Marlows is in the building. So replay this. And you know what? We want y'all to comment, ask questions. We may have them on again. Y'all might have some questions about this thing, and then we can do some Q&A. I think that'll be awesome. Maybe do live one day. Too much. Okay.
I'll get you off camera.
But yo, comment, like, bless that like button, bless that share button, bless that subscribe button, bless whatever button you got down there except for the dislike button. Don't you do that.
Don't hit that one.
To yourself. But share this with your friends, family, church members, and we're gonna put the information at the bottom so everybody can try to be a part of this. I think it's a very important thing that could save a multitude of sins. Because once you hurt a child, they grow up and you never know what's going to happen. We talking about saving generation curses and everything. So we love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us at Reasons to Talk, presented by Reasons to Win, and also Central Triad Church, where we transform lives, produce believers, and
Impact the world.
Yeah, you said that. We didn't even plan that. Y'all have a great day.